Welcome back to the Space Gulag, otherwise known as your favorite hangout place, the PPSW, and today we are back with another Star Wars theory. Now, I know what you're thinking, judging by the thumbnail and the title. Well, we know where this is going, so let's just kind of go straight into it. Before we do, though, subscribe for a chance to win a free lightsaber. Join the Discord, we have a lot of fun. Guys have been active all day today, and I wasn't even there, so, I mean, you get to interact with me, and you get to interact with other Star Wars fans. Great communities, like 75 plus people right now. It's awesome. Also, subscribe to these channels. Let's get straight into the story. Well, judging by the title, we're going to be buying some death sticks. Not just one round, I mean 900 years worth of death stick supply. There's nothing more than I can say for the video, such as then get your favorite munchie food, and drink, and sit back, chillax, and we're going to go deep inside of the Space Gulag for this story. The story begins in 896 BBY, and that's the year that Yoda was born. Taken from an unknown world and from an unknown species, he was brought to the Grand Jedi Temple on Coruscant, where he would be trained. Someone like Yoda was highly attuned towards the powers of the Force, and that of the light. Yoda's species developed over a long period of time. For Yoda, a short time for him was a lifetime for most people. Yoda's first 100 years within the temple would be full of close watch and care. As he grew into a young, vibrant Jedi, he would be very efficient in his usage of the Force and a lightsaber. Yoda used Form 4 and was extremely well versed in it, using it very well, and at his small height, he was very easily underestimated. But Yoda never let people get inside of his head. When Yoda graduated to the rank of Knight by passing the trials, he was eager to take on an apprentice under his wings. Though most of the Order was certainly willing to underestimate Yoda because of his size, Yoda used this to his advantage. He always was one to outshine amongst his peers in lightsaber combat with other Jedi, in sparring sessions and so forth. Jedi at this time were at the height of their power. They wouldn't have threat for centuries. These Jedi never would face a Sith, and their job was to serve the people of the Republic, to stop piracy, slavery, and all the wronging in the galaxy. There was a massive galaxy for Yoda to be able to travel in, and being underestimated by the High Council, he would be sent down to Coruscant's underbelly for his first couple missions. The scum on Coruscant couldn't be that bad after all. They would never match up to the scum that would be seen in the Outer Rim on planets such as Tatooine. There was no reason to believe that Yoda would fail on Coruscant's lower levels. These missions for him were simple. Yoda was sent down into level 1313 to deal with some pirates that were dictating the lives of civilians who lived on the level. Yoda's mission was to go to their base and convince the power structure to crumble and allow the people of level 1313 to live freely without the constraints on their way of life. Yoda took this mission openly. It was really the first time he'd be able to leave and go on a mission alone without a master. It wasn't that Yoda wasn't powerful, but it was the fact that most species in the galaxy towered over him. They were much taller than him, and even more than that, most species in the galaxy had never seen anyone that looked like Yoda. No one had ever really seen someone of his species. As Yoda, Knight of the Jedi Order, traveled into the underbelly of Coruscant, unaided, he searched for the pirate base. It was located near a couple of bars, of which they ran a gambling guild out of. Yoda made his way into the bar without sneaking around. He was ready to take on any force that confronted him. He wasn't afraid, he just wanted to go in and get his job done. When he entered, he was confronted by a young man, a Rodian. The Rodian asked if Yoda would like some death sticks, and he continued and stumbled out of the bar. Yoda didn't really have time to respond because he was just kind of rambling on and stumbling away from the bar. Yoda didn't pay much attention to this because he wanted to prove his point to the council. He was very eager to move forward in his career. As Yoda moved into the bar, some of the grunts asked what his business was. They knew he was a Jedi based on the outfit that he was wearing, but they didn't know why a Jedi would be here, be so low in Coruscant's underbelly. Yoda spoke in phrases that sounded like riddles, telling the pirates that he was here to stop their gambling ring and their rule over the citizens of 1313. The pirates laughed at him, and so Yoda jumped to a table to get closer to their height, telling them not to underestimate his strength. They obviously didn't take notice of this threat, as they assumed it was a hollow threat. They raised their blasters at Yoda. Yoda pulled out his lightsaber with the Force and jumped from the table to one of the pirates' shoulders. He then cut their blaster and deflected a blaster shot into another one of the grunts. As he moved toward another grunt, he cut their blaster as well. Yoda jumped into the air, and in between the remaining pirates and lifting up both of his hands while in the air, he used Force Push to throw them all against the walls and some of the other ones into tables, flipping them over the table. Yoda landed upright as the remaining grunt backed away and led Yoda to the pirate leader. The pirate leader was an average pirate. Nothing much to make of himself. He wasn't overly confident, but he did enjoy making good sum of credits. As he looked at Yoda, he got up from his seat to intimidate. He was a very tall creature. He was a Corran from Mon Cala, and though he was rather tall for a creature from the water world, Yoda wasn't going to play another round of intimidation, and he ever so slightly picked up the Corran with the Force. He snickered as the Corran started to freak out. He didn't know what was happening. Yoda again spoke in riddles and told the pirate to stop trying to control the people of level 1313. As the pirate obeyed, he told Yoda that he wouldn't do any more piracy and he just wanted to be let down. As Yoda was letting him down, a bright package fell from his pocket and landed on the floor. Yoda released the pirate as he fell back onto his desk, and Yoda then used the Force and pulled the little packet he saw fall on the floor, and then he put it into his pocket for a future examination. Yoda turned and made his way out of the bar, and he would return to the Jedi Temple and inform the Council that his mission had been completed. Some of the members were genuinely surprised, while others praised him for his success and dismissed him. Yoda went back to his quarters and examined the little packet he had taken. It was a bundle of 3 brightly lit devices. He tried one, and before Yoda knew it, he had officially entered the space gulag. It was like hyperspace, but in his little room. Yoda fell back and giggled to himself. He was in a completely different world. He felt some energy as he jumped from wall to wall, doing insane parkour before landing on his bed and laying back, looking at his ceiling. He didn't crash, but Yoda was hungry now. He wanted some Alderaan sweets. They produced some of the best sweets in the galaxy. Where could he get some? And this troubled Yoda a lot. He knew if he wanted to get some, he'd have to travel to a residential area on topside Coruscant. He couldn't risk that at the moment, though. Yoda was in a different world, and he knew if he got caught, he'd get in big trouble with the Jedi Council. Yoda decided that, with the 2 remaining, he would save them for a special occasion. This was a feeling that he wouldn't want to forget anytime soon. Yoda knew that his elongated life could allow him to experience this for as long as he wanted, so Yoda hid his other 2 death sticks in his ceremonial robes. It wouldn't be long before Yoda would become a master and take on an apprentice. Yoda would become a great teacher to his student, but he always had the inclination in the back of his mind that he should turn his apprentice into wonder sticks. He should tell him about them, and he called them wonder sticks. That's what Yoda called them. He liked that term better than death sticks. Yoda's temptation to use the wonder sticks again was burning inside of him. It had been a couple years since he had last used the wonderful escapes from reality. Yoda thought for a moment though, what if he convinced the Jedi to use death sticks? What if the entire order wasn't so uptight? Remember, Yoda was a young lad. He would harbor feelings for excitement, for change, and for trying to make a difference. The death sticks turned him onto a whole new experience of life, and he wanted others to enjoy it as well. So when his apprentice and him were sent back down to the depths of Coruscant, he decided it were time to introduce his apprentice to the Wonder Stick. They were going down to accomplish a similar mission to what Yoda had accomplished as a knight. It was really the boring work for the Jedi. They didn't really want to deal with it, so they sent people that they didn't want to go elsewhere down there to deal with it. It was a couple pirates who were creating trouble in the underbelly of Coruscant again, and they needed to be brought to justice. After all, the Republic's police droids in the lower levels weren't exactly sentient when it came to stopping crime. Sure, they had advanced processors, but they really were unable to accomplish anything notable, hence why the Jedi had to keep coming down there to deal with the pirates. Adura approached the 2 Jedi and told them that they needed to purchase something from the pirates before they entered the establishment. The Jedi, after all, were undercover, so it wasn't the Grunt's fault for not noticing that they were Jedi. Yoda spoke and asked for 2 death sticks. The Dura made a face and then shook it off, as he reached in his pocket and got them each a death stick for 7 credits. Master Yoda gave his student one of the death sticks and told him to take it. His student questioned him, but as he watched Yoda take the death stick, like a true master of the Wonder Stick, the apprentice followed his master's lead and used the death stick too. The 2 of them entered the boss's office and confronted him. He was surprisingly the same Corran that Yoda had encountered years before. As he looked up, he jumped back, falling out of his chair, being startled by Yoda's presence again. Yoda, though, was much kinder this time. He was mellowing out after all. The death sticks worked incredibly fast, and he was beginning to go into his trance. Hyperspace again. He told the pirate to chill out with the operations. The pirate nodded, and he told Yoda he would stop operating here. Obviously, he would switch worlds where he could take advantage of the lack of Jedi. Yoda and his apprentice found a bench in the lower levels and looked at the big hole that led to the upper levels of the world. This was a bonding moment for the two. Master and apprentice became best bros. They shared this moment and felt the Force more than ever. For normal people, death sticks slowed them down, but for the Jedi, Force users at least, it amplified everything they felt within the Force. Not only that, but death sticks were hallucinogenic. Yoda and his apprentice would make a tradition out of this until his apprentice would become a knight. After every mission together, Yoda and his apprentice would grab some death sticks and enjoy the victory that they had accomplished during their mission. After the knighting of his apprentice, Yoda decided he wanted to recreate this. As the decades and soon-to-be centuries passed, Yoda became more influential within the Jedi Order. Not only that, but he was able to get some of his fellow Jedi into frequent death stick users. All of this was done under the Council's nose, though Yoda ascended the ranks and became a master on the High Council, a lifetime position. Yoda's influence became even more widespread, as the council member on the High Council that allowed his fellow Jedi to use the death sticks. It became more common for Jedi to use them. It wouldn't be long, though, until the council caught on to this ruse. They confronted Yoda, who then supplied the council with some death sticks. They weren't overly positive about taking them, but the death sticks weren't outlawed yet. It was still legal in the Republic to use them. So without any convincing, one after another, council members joined their little friend in trying out the death sticks. As it became accepted by the High Council, it became acceptable throughout the Jedi Order. Because death sticks weren't outlawed yet, it didn't mean that they weren't hard to come by. They were created with rare plants only available and only able to be grown on Tython. The Jedi slowly distanced themselves from the Galactic Republic and preferred functioning in their own way. Because of the death sticks, their piecework was repaid with personal enjoyment. The Jedi, because of the death sticks, were also much more efficient in stopping corrupt worlds. As the time of the High Republic came to an end and the latter days of the canonical timeline came to fruition, the Jedi were completely separated from the Republic, but the Sith still lurked closer than ever to the Jedi. The Jedi, on the other hand, didn't care for the Sith. They really didn't care anymore. They were loving life and spreading the love throughout the galaxy, and by keeping the peace and ridding the galaxy of the major corrupt organizations that enslaved the people of the galaxy. As one Chancellor Palpatine came to power in the Republic as Supreme Chancellor, the Jedi took little notice. Palpatine was set on destroying the Jedi, even if they didn't seem like a legitimate threat to his attempt to seize power. But for Palpatine, that wouldn't matter. As Palpatine was preparing the galaxy for war, the Jedi approached the Chancellor. Because the death sticks hyper-focused the Jedi's ability to feel through the Force, they knew that Palpatine was a Sith Lord. They had known this, actually. They had known for a long time. The only thing is that the Jedi never really cared. They were just chilling with him. And so they approached him, and they told him they knew he was a Sith Lord. Palpatine was not only shocked by this, but he was in complete bewilderment that the Jedi had discovered him and didn't do anything about it. The Jedi told Palpatine that they had known for a long time, and he just really didn't know how to wrap his mind around this. He didn't know what to make of it. He was very confused. But the Jedi told him that they shouldn't be enemies anymore. Sheev was still hell-bent on revenge as he raised his lightsaber. But Yoda sheathed it with the Force. As Palpatine looked over at the Grand Master, he saw a small red packet being thrown at him. Sheev used the Force and pulled it over to him. He looked at it, and then looked at the Jedi. He decided he would try the Death Stick. He had never done it before. It didn't take long before Palpatine leaned back in his office chair and then shot lightning into the ceiling, yelling about unlimited power. Something dark side. The Jedi and Palpatine moved towards the same part of the room, and Yoda looked at Sheev and asked if they were now friends. Sheev reached his hand out and smiled. They shook hands, and the Sith and Jedi became one. Palpatine's apprentice Maul, who was never killed over at Naboo, would also join the ranks of this newly formed branch of Force users. They weren't good or evil. They did what they believed in, without seizing power from the people in the galaxy and without enslaving people. That were basically the only rules. The rules weren't really all that strict. Palpatine lacked all interest in taking power of the galaxy. He lacked interest in most of anything. But he was even granted a seat on the council. The Order, which they were now called, would teach their students that they were meant to help people, almost like a group of space hippies. The Republic would tell the Order that they could no longer operate on Coruscant, so naturally, the Order, as it was referred to by the galaxy, moved to a planet named Tython, where, what could they do? Mass produce death sticks. They propped up several galactic businesses that helped the poor people of the galaxy. The Order was still peaceful and they gave back to the galaxy. As the galaxy remained at peace, the clone and droid armies were disbanded. The droids were reprogrammed to serve the people of the galaxy, and the clones went into becoming a police force. With the Jedi and Sith united as one under the name The Order, there would be no more wars, as the Order rejected the wars and in peace and commonly found love for their wonder sticks. And that is our story, ladies and gentlemen. I do hope you guys enjoyed this. This was meant to be fun. Don't take it any seriously. Obviously, these are all theories based on something that isn't real anyways, so I wouldn't hope you take these all that seriously, but I mean, this was a fun theory for me. This was a lot of fun because, I'm gonna be honest, like, sometimes it's like, okay, I don't want to write a serious story all the time. I want to have some fun with it. Like, when I finished writing the Darth Jar Jar one, I said, "You still gonna die?" And I thought that was kind of funny. But that was because I spent 2 hours writing it. This one was a lot of fun, though. I spent a little bit over an hour writing it. I liked how it turned out. I'm really content with it. I think it's a fun and cute story. Palpatine, I love the fact that Palpatine, after taking Death Sticks, just doesn't care about anything anymore. He's just like, yeah, dude, we're just gonna chill in the building, you know? And yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Yeah, you know what I mean? I think it's kind of funny. So, I mean, this was meant to be a cute, fun story. This is not advocating for drug use, so I want to make that clear. I'm not advocating for drug use. This is just simply a fun story about a one-liner in Attack of the Clones about Death Sticks. That's seriously all it is. And I really do hope you guys enjoy this because I think it's a fun story to tell. I didn't want to make it too short, and I didn't want to make it too goofy. I wanted to actually follow along like a real story, as if I was telling you a story like any other story that I do. I don't want to make some kind of simple, oh, he took Death Sticks and now he's kind of losing his mind, ree-hee-hee-hee, Yoda's a psychopath like he was on Dagobah. No, I wanted to draw you in and make you get connected with the character before we went into any of that, and I think I did that pretty decently. This is a fun story though, so I do hope you guys enjoyed it. Please leave a like down below. It helps out the channel. Share the video too. It also helps me out, and it gets you closer getting a chance to win a free lightsaber. So don't forget to subscribe for that. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys all enjoyed this. Tell me what you thought down below about Yoda being the master of the Death Sticks, or as we called him in the story, Wonder Sticks. Anyways, I love you all. Spread the love, and always remember, my friends, may the Force be with you.